What's going on, YouTube? My name is Paul, and this is my first attempt at doing a video blog. And I've been kicking around doing a video blog for like 3 years, and finally I decided to just pull the trigger and actually do one. Now, currently I live in South Korea, Busan, South Korea. It's in the southeastern part of the country, so if this is Korea, southeastern part would be maybe right here, right here. Okay, so I hope that was the right way. I'm going to look like an idiot if that is not the right way. Whatever. So it's the second largest city in Korea. It's got a population of around 3.5 to 4 million, and it's home to the most quote-unquote popular beaches in Korea, which are Haeundae Beach and Gwanali Beach. Personally, I like Gwanali Beach because it's got the bridge in the background. So if you do like a Google search, Gwanali, it's beautiful. It's really, really nice. It's crazy in the summertime. The cool thing about Korean beaches, just like on a side note, is just in general, Korea, there's no open container law, so you can just go to a 7-Eleven and buy beer, walk immediately outside, and start swinging it. You know, like there's no one's gonna stop you. You may get a few dirty looks by Koreans, but it is totally socially cool. So one of the coolest parts about living in Busan is the beach. In the summer and specifically the fall, like September is usually the coolest part for me, just because the weather's not too hot. We go to the beach, drink all day at the beach, and then at night continue to drink, and then buy fireworks from the fireworks lady and have Harry Potter duels and shoot fireworks at each other. It's awesome. It's completely harmless. It adds for great entertainment for the Koreans because they think all foreigners are crazy, especially when we're drinking and shooting fireworks at each other in a Harry Potter dueling fashion. Regardless, so I wanted to do a blog on my experience teaching in Korea. I've lived here for 1.5 years, and I'll be leaving in August of 2014 to potentially go teach in Japan. I'm waiting on the JET program. So I'd just like to basically pay it forward and help some people that are thinking about coming to Korea, give them some information, a little bit about my personal experience, and maybe it can help them and inspire them to come to Korea themselves and start an adventure. So I came to Korea in August of 2012, and like I said, I've been here currently for 1.5 years, and I obviously have liked it enough that I've stayed and continued my contract for a second year. So what I'm going to basically talk about is a little bit about the 2 ways that you can get to Korea. So the 2 most popular ways that you can get to Korea is through EPIK, the English program in Korea, and through a hagwon. Now, before I get going, do you guys see my board? I don't know, I keep seeing it in the back of my eye because I'm recording and I see it. Alright, actually I'll give you a little bit of a tour of my classroom while I'm at it. Alright, I finished my camp, so I'm a little free right now. So that's my board. It's messy as all hell. Typically in Korea, in all of Korea really, public schools, there are no custodian. So your students are your custodian. And every Wednesday and Friday, my students come to my classroom and they clean my classroom. All of the desks, clean the windows, the dust. They clean the floor, they vacuum the floor, and they were supposed to clean my board. That's my sad face. But yeah, they were supposed to clean my board and they forgot. But if you see the board, there's like a rectangular or square white spot. That's actually where I cleaned from Monday. It was my last classes with my 5th grade students. So I showed the movie Home Alone right before Christmas, and it blew their goddamn mind. Like, Korean kids have no experience with, especially Home Alone. I mean, as Americans and maybe most Western people, we have an idea of Home Alone. But it blew their goddamn mind. Like, Korean kids love anything that involves dudes just straight up getting, like, bopped in the face with paint cans and bricks, or just dudes eating shit. Not, like, literal shit, but just, like, walking and falling on their ass and breaking their arm, or dudes getting hit off of bicycles or something. I don't know. You know what I mean. Slapstick humor. and they really love that stuff. So they were so pumped up to watch Home Alone, and it made me relive a little bit of my childhood. So it made me feel good, but at the same time, it made me feel like shit because it made me feel homesick. I spent Christmas in Korea for the second year in a row, and that sucked because they don't celebrate Christmas the same way we do in the West. They look at Christmas as like Valentine's Day. It's like a couple's holiday. So it kind of sucked for me because all my friends were gone, and yeah, like all my friends were gone. So it was really, really tough. Regardless. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about EPIK. And EPIK is the English program in Korea, and it's the program that I came on with. Now, typically, to get to Korea through the EPIK program, and you can come through a private, like to get back to my original point, you can come two ways. You can come through the public sector through EPIK, and you can come through the private sector, which is like private academies or hagwons. And through the public sector, run by the government, you can come through the TALK program, GEPIK, and most notably the EPIK program, which is the largest of all three of the organizations that are run by the Korean government. And through a hagwon, I'm not really going to talk too much about it just because I didn't come through a hagwon. I have friends that work in hagwons, but I don't have enough information that I would feel like I feel like I wouldn't be doing someone enough service to speak on something that I'm not well informed on. So if you have specific questions about hagwons, just throw them around the comment box, wherever that is. I think it's down here. So throw it down in the comment box, and I'll ask some of my friends that work in hagwon, an academy, for you, and I'll get the answer for you. But to get back to EPIK, you can apply through EPIK through the EPIK website, and there are, if you Google search EPIK.kr, which is like their Korean website, you can apply directly through EPIK. I know a few people that have, but the most simple way, honestly, is to go through a recruiter. Now, you have to be very careful with a recruiter because you don't pay for their services, and they act as the middle person between EPIK and you. So they're that little middle ground, and they funnel all the information that you give to them to EPIK, and they make sure it's all perfect. So some of the benefits of having a recruiter is they double check everything for you. They make sure your application is perfect. They make sure that all of your information is accurate. They give you a lot of resources on the different placements in Korea, such as the difference between some of the cities and some of the provinces, and your odds of getting into a city versus a province. Some of the negatives is that you don't pay them, which is a positive. You don't pay anything out of pocket for them, but they get paid when you get to Korea. So they get paid from EPIK for getting you to come to Korea. They get a partial amount of your salary. Not deducted from your salary, but it's like commission-based. And because they're commissionally paid by EPIK, they want you to go very badly. And 9 times out of 10, they'll kind of make things look a little bit better than they actually are. If you want to go to a city, they'll probably tell you, yeah, you got a great chance of going to the city. And then once you find out you're placed in some rural area near the DMZ, which happens to some people, it's a roll of the dice that you chance when you apply to EPIK, because you can choose placements, but they can theoretically choose anywhere for you. So be careful with the recruiters you choose. I personally recommend Gone to Korea. Gone, Gone, the number 2, Korea.com. They're a Canadian-based company, and they were freaking awesome. I'll put a link to them down low. I don't mind selfishly promoting them. I'm not paid by them in any way, but they're freaking cool. Like, they were so honest, upfront with me. They weren't bullshitting me on anything. When I asked them a question, they literally answered me in an hour to almost the latest a day after. They were really cool. I went through a guy named James. I hope he's still there. James was awesome. He lived in Busan, which is the city that I live in now, and he was really upfront and honest with me. Like, he told me, like, you have a good shot at a city, but nothing is guaranteed. And I was really appreciative of him being that cool with me and not just saying, yeah, you got a city, just give me your money or give me your information for your flight, blah, 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 blah. You know, he wasn't pushing pushing me to go to Korea. I was already set on going, so it's not a matter of him pushing me to go. I just wanted to make sure that I felt comfortable going through his program. And if you don't feel comfortable with a recruiter, find another one. They're a dime a dozen. You can Google them. They're all over the place. Just check up on them before you decide to actually sign the contract with them, because once you commit with them contractually, when they sign the contract with EPIK with you, you can't double dip and have two recruiters and have two contracts for EPIK with both your signature on it. If EPIK finds out you went through two recruiters, you will be disqualified. So make sure you find one recruiter that you're comfortable with and go with that recruiter. Okay, next, I'm going to talk about the requirements. Okay, so EPIK specifically, because I don't know enough about Hagwons, EPIK specifically, they're looking for people that speak English. This is an English-speaking job, so you have to speak English. You have to come from England, the United States, Canada, Ireland, South Africa, Scotland, New Zealand, or Australia. One of those countries. English must be your first spoken language. It can't be your second language. Can you come from any of the countries outside of the ones I just talked about? Yeah. Can you apply to EPIK? No, unfortunately not. You can maybe come through a private academy or Hagwon if you come from a country outside of those 8 I just mentioned. You can't, unfortunately, apply through EPIK if you don't come from one of those 8. You have to come from one of those 8 designated countries. Okay, next, you're going to need a bachelor's degree. Now, bachelor's degree is very vague and very general. A bachelor's degree can be in anything. It can be in art. It can be in English education, like my degree, or it can be in mathematics or film or a basic liberal arts degree. It can be in anything, all right? You just need a basic 4-year degree from one of the 8 countries. Recently, I've had friends that were accepted into EPIK in the last year, and they said EPIK is becoming more competitive because of the global market, and a lot of people are deciding that they want to come to Korea and teach English, which is a fantastic thing. I think that's a great way to experience the world in a different culture and to, most importantly, teach. But because of that, they have a high applicant pool, and with a high applicant pool, EPIK can now be more selective than they have been in previous years. So they are looking now for more people with the English degree. The education degree is huge. Liberal arts is still an acceptable degree here. They're not looking at online TEFL certificates anymore, as far as I know. I could be wrong, but at least through the resources that were told to me, some of the friends of mine that just came through EPIK, you cannot have an online TEFL certificate. They won't accept it. It's only through class, which sucks. But that's just a testament to how competitive it's getting. All right. But by the way, as an aside, just because you have a degree in math, don't be discouraged, or a degree in Joe Schmo studies. All right. You can come to Korea on anything. Just because you don't have a degree necessarily in education does not imply that you cannot be an effective teacher or a successful candidate into the EPIK program. I'm a firm believer that teachers come in all shapes and sizes and have various degrees and concentrations. So as long as you're enthusiastic, optimistic, very easygoing, and willing to roll with the punches, you can be accepted to EPIK and you will be an effective teacher. I have more confidence in the world in saying that. All right. Next, you're going to not have a criminal history. You can't have a criminal history. If you, at some point in time in your youth, beat the shit out of purple people because you hate purple people, and you went on a drunken binge and beat the shit out of 8 purple people and went to jail, all right, and it's on your criminal history, you unfortunately cannot come to Korea. Anything that is on your criminal history will be checked. You have to do an FBI background check, and it's pretty intensive. It takes about a month for them to process. If you have anything on your background, with anything with criminal history, I'm sorry, you're screwed. You can't come. All right. If you have like something small, like parking tickets or fines, or if you were speeding one time in Boston because you were trying to get home to your girlfriend because she was freaking out that you didn't DVR or something. I don't know. Freaking know. But they're not going to look at that stuff. Okay. No parking tickets or anything stupid like that. They're not going to check how many points you have on your license. It's mainly the FBI. It's a federal background check, so stuff that was serious offenses that you did time for. Next, they're looking for people that have good mental and physical health. By the way, I have notes. I know I'm a nerd, dude. Like, if I didn't write this stuff down, I would have no idea what the fuck to talk about. So, to go back to it, you need to have good mental and physical health. You're going to be around kids. So with that in mind, you know, you can't just be someone that's going to mentally check out, or if you have some kind of disorder mentally that you just lose your shit, like a light bulb goes on and you're just like, kill purple children, and you just start beating the shit out of purple children in your classroom. I don't know. I'm sorry. You just can't come. If you're physically unable to come, meaning that you're severely obese, like I'm saying, like severely obese to the point that you need like some sort of, it's almost like a handicap. It would be difficult to apply. They may take that into serious account because there is a lot of walking involved here, and Korea isn't unfortunately made for big people. Is that discriminatory? Absolutely. Do I believe it should be applied into the program? No fucking way. I think that's really, really shitty, but at the same time, I don't work for the Korean government. I don't make the rules. I'm reading them to you. Next, you have to be within the age of 22 to 25. Do you 100% have to be? No. Will it help? Yes. If you are 36, does it mean you can't apply to EPIK? No. If you're 40, does it mean you can't apply to EPIK? Absolutely not. You can apply to EPIK with those ages in mind, but they're looking for people within the 22 to 35 age range. Why is that? They're looking for people that are young, that can connect with the students, that have a lot of energy, and that is something that typically 22 to 35-year-olds have, at least in the Korean government's mind. All right? And next, I just want to give a few shout-outs to 3 people that were really helpful for me when I started researching about Korea. All right? Number 1 is BusanKevin. BusanKevin kicked ass for me. BusanKevin was one of the first people that introduced me to the world of ESL and teaching in Korea, and his blogs were really fascinating and interesting, and his opinions were fantastic, and most of the time, they're really accurate, especially now that I live here. I look back at some of his videos, and I was like, God damn it, dude, I totally feel where you're coming from. So if you're thinking about coming to Korea, check out BusanKevin's video blogs. He's currently in Japan right now, and the dude's like a professional when it comes to East Asia. Like, he's in Japan right now, and he's lived there for a while, and he does some blogs about in Japan, but his best stuff, in my opinion, was when he was in Busan, which is the city I live in now. Next, StephenWorldwide, Stephen with a PH. This dude was really good too. He's got like a few videos. He hasn't done a lot of the vlogs anymore, but his early stuff was really cool, and he lays things into detail. Like, he goes into really serious detail on a lot of the requirements. So some of the stuff that I talked about today, all right, he goes into serious depth about it, okay? That will definitely be a good resource for you. If you're looking for someone that just has a really cool perspective, a dude that's just really chill, check out DurkeeinKorea. DURKEE in Korea. Personally, I think this is my favorite guy. Super down to earth, a guy that would be probably one of the coolest people to meet if you were lucky enough to come to Korea the same time as him and drink with him and hang with him. The dude's really chill. He's really honest with his blog. He keeps things really honest, like I just said, and he's just fun, man. Just cool. Just like, you just put his vlogs on and just hear what he's got to say. It's really entertaining. It's cool. All right, so that's enough time for me now. If you have any other general questions, throw it down in the comment box, and I'll do the best I can to help you. All right, it's all about helping each other, and that's what I've come to realize by traveling is it's just giving back and paying it forward. So I'm gonna pay it forward the best I can. All right, take it easy.